Good afternoon, traders. Today is Friday, April 22nd, and we have today a Dow Jones Industrial Average, which is down almost 1,000 points. Want to look at that, talk about why that occurred, and how did our crypto markets hold up against the broader markets basically crashing. All right, let's jump to the charts. We're going to start with the dollar. And something interesting has happened here. All right, so we had this red candle, and remember I had stated I thought we were going to come back down and test the top of this bull flag before we bounce and move further up. All right, obviously that has not happened yet. Maybe it still will, but I thought it was going to occur with this red candle. Instead, we reversed this shooting star candle here. Almost the wick down almost hit that 20-day moving average. We bounced back up and came above this significant line of resistance, which is now acting as support again. So what has happened here in the interim? Basically, guys, it all has to do with Jay Powell and the Fed. Previously, they had talked about increasing the interest rates 3 times this year, and the first one was up for grabs between 25 and 50, ended up being 25, and now the next couple were going to be consistent, basically. So the Fed was just going to consistently raise those interest rates. Now with inflation being up 8%, a full 8%, that puts a new alarm bell on the radar, so to speak. And so Jay Powell is instead talking about increasing interest rates more drastically up front until he can tackle this inflation rate, and then leveling off. All right, so the markets are trying to price that in, and that's really all that's happening right now. We have a lot of significant dates coming up, and we'll talk about that later on in the video. But that is affecting both the dollar and the fear index. All right, the markets, of course, are. Let me delete that. With the markets dropping as much as they have to factor in those deflationary pressures, the market has spiked a full 25% today. So again, it's almost always the case, 100% of the time, when the dollar is up as much as it is and the VIX is up as much as it is, almost 100% of the time you'll see the opposite effect on the broader markets, which of course spills over into cryptocurrency. All right, so that's basically what's occurring. And guys, the big thing is we want to avoid with this inflation is what's called wage price spiral. And that's where, for instance, we have a burger place up the street from us here. They're offering to pay high school kids $20 an hour to flip burgers. All right. I remember when I thought, $8, $9 an hour to flip burgers was good. And so when you have wages going up so drastically, that's going to have an impact on prices. We're already starting to see some of that at the grocery stores, at the pump and everything. That's all inflation. But when the wages increase that much, then that will impact the prices even more. And it's almost like the whole chicken or the egg, which came first scenario in economy and macroeconomics. It's almost impossible to decipher which came first. Did the wages hike first, or did the price, consumer prices hike first? It's a big debate. It really doesn't matter. It all has to do with inflation, and Jay Powell's got to tackle this. All right, so he's becoming more hawkish, basically, on I can't speak right now, on the markets. They need the prices to go down. All right, basically. So they're putting deflationary pressure on those markets by increasing the interest rates by even more than what was originally expected. All right, this also strengthens the dollar, and this dollar strengthening is against other global fiat currencies, of course. And the VIX is going to go up naturally because the markets are all going down. All right, so there's the Dow, big red candle there, 1,000 points equaling almost 3%. SPY is no different. I mean, we dropped all the way from this 200-day. Look at this massive price drop in 2 days from the 200-day down here. That's a full 5%. That's pretty big on the S&P. All right, and then you have the NASDAQ doing the same thing, of course. QQQ would be the same thing. So how did our crypto markets hold up against all of this? Well, let's take a look here. We have this total index. Again, this looks very similar to my Bitcoin. I might as well just jump to the Bitcoin charts. And here's our, area of FUD, this whole flag right here, which could, in fact, still be a bear flag to this head and shoulders pattern. Remember, guys, the head and shoulders pattern is not invalidated until we're back up here somewhere, all right, in this area. And we take out that neckline. We have not done that yet. All we've really done is drop below that neckline and then move sideways. Now, moving sideways is better than moving down because you can still have very good accumulation with all of this up and down here. That shakes out a lot of the weak hands, all right? So we may, in fact, have been able to shake out a lot of the weak hands just by doing this sideways action here. Only experienced traders are really going to stay in this market. Everybody else is going to get too nervous, all right? And they're all jumping out. Now, of course, I'm still bullish as long as we're above this black line, but only a few people watch this video. Maybe only a few people know that black line exists. So that doesn't mean anything in the scope of everything else that's going on. All right, so people are getting nervous. And I have to be honest, I don't like being down by this black line again. All right, I told you this before. I didn't want to test it any more time. And we did. We hit it another time here. And then we bounced, all right? Now we're coming down. We're approaching this black line again. I don't like being down in this area. We've had enough of testing this. And I feel like if we continue to tempt fate, which is that line right there, that support is going to break and then all hell will break loose. So I really don't like being down there. I've got my, long positions. But if we come any lower this weekend, traders, watch my trade alerts. I might be selling. All right. I have to have confirmation once we break below this black line. And maybe it doesn't give me time for that confirmation. Something tells me if we break that black line, it's going to go quick. So I might not even get that confirmation. I may just have to hold through this. I don't want to do that, but the market may not give me a chance to sell out. I don't have any stops in. I like to see confirmation on the daily. I'm a swing trader, so I trade slowly. I enter positions slowly and I exit slowly. But sometimes the market just doesn't get, look at these green, this red, this green, this green. Bitcoin can move rapidly when it breaks significant areas. So the big story here is we just have to keep watching these markets. I mean, there's a lot of significant happenings going on here in the U.S. And really, of course, the U.S. wants to remain dominant in terms of dollar dominance. And so really, it is still all about the dollar. And we have our earnings season right now going on in the markets. May 4th, we have FOMC. That's where Jay Powell meets again with the Fed and goes over the situation. May 6th is our jobs report, and then May 11th, CPI. All right, so all of that is coming up, and it's all going to play a factor in what happens on the crypto side of things. Now, overall, I think crypto has held up extremely well considering what's going on in the markets. And I've said this before, but at some point we're going to start to see a flippening of sorts where no longer the stock markets lead the way or pave the way for the crypto world, but in fact, crypto starts to lead the way for the stock market. Now that's a long ways down the road, but maybe this is just the beginning of it. I don't know. Pay close attention to this, guys, and we definitely don't want to see a drop below our black line in the sand here. Anything down in this area, we have to be on the sell trigger for all of our positions. All right, guys, that's all I have for this weekend. I'm going to go crack a beer and throw some shrimp on the bobby. Actually, I got some burgers out there to throw on the grill. Until the next time, we'll talk to you later. Peace, y'all.